It seems like time has picked up speed. And if you got some bills, you don't get 30 days out of the month. You get 2 weeks. Didn't I just pay that? No. Come on. Where did time go? You are 77. Who does that? Wow, I served at the Lord's Supper. Time has picked up speed. This is a different time. I want to share with you and want to talk to you about something. Do what's you. Make your life count on doing the things that's true to you. What I love about the presenters that are talking to you are people who have overcome some stuff, who have grown through some stuff and decided that will not make me or break me, but I'm going to use my voice and my story and my example to empower people, because a lot of people need it. Some people will hear me. Some people will hear Tracy. Some people will hear Makuba. Some people will hear you. We all have a voice. We all can impact people's lives. And so as you look at yourself, look at your goals, look at your dreams, do things that's true to you. Now let me share something else with you. I think the most important message that I have ever given, I would say the most important statement, and I want you to write this down and put it somewhere where you can see it. Because these individuals that you see, they're trainers, they're consultants, they have a variety of knowledge and abilities and skills. I endorse them, I support what they're doing, and I know that they're going to make a difference for you, for your company, for your church, for your organization, because I get the chance to see them up close and personal. We are processed. We are working on our stuff, including me. Live your life the way you want to lead your life. I spoke to a group yesterday, and I asked, if you had 3 months to live, what would you do differently? And all of them, 100% said, I would quit my job. If I knew I had 3 months to live, I would start doing more programs. I would speak more. I'll be on Twitter, on LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok. I'll be doing all of them. Let me tell you something. Listen, why? Because I'm doing what I love to do. If you spend 40 to 50 hours a week doing something that's not you, that's stressful. But if you're doing something that's you, that's passion, honey. Or you're going to rob the cemetery of your talents, of your abilities, of the gifts that God put in you, that He brought you here at this point in time to help clean some of this mess up. And these individuals have answered the call on their life. And I'm encouraging you. What's in your heart? Do what's in your heart. Where your heart is, there your treasure is also. Yeah. See, the reason that I'm excited about these speakers, and we're going to be sharing stages around the world, that we're living in an incredible time. I remember speaking in 4 or 5 different cities. I have to get on airplanes and go from city to city, hotel to hotel. Now, we can just do it in the comfort of our home. And so what they're doing is paving the way, because we're going from brick and mortar to click and order. Now, we can reach people, we can help people to achieve mental health and wellness, helping people to develop strategies and the new skill set for this new space where we are. These people have put in a lot of work, a lot of time, a lot of effort. So I don't want you just listen to them. I want you to write down information, take some notes, and get contact information so that you can incorporate their services for your business, for yourself, or for your organization, and for things that you believe in and causes that you support. Here's something else. Make every day count. I was talking to someone today, and they said, well, let's get together in 2 weeks. I said, no. I said, you just told me you're an hour and a half away. I said, let's do this right away. I remember when Michael Jackson said, this is it, after procrastinating and putting off going on tour. But it was not the it he had in mind. And the older you become, the more calls you get about people who are gone. I remember my high school teacher, Mr. Washington, and he was an unusual guy. We told him, hey, did you hear Mr. Hayes died unexpectedly? And he said, Leslie? I said, yes, sir. No one dies unexpectedly. We all gonna die. I said, oh, we have an expiration date. And so I'm encouraging you, make every day count. It said it's not the number of breaths that we take, but the number of breaths that moments and events that take our breath away. Here's something I'm doing now, and I encourage you to do. I heard something that shocked me, and I didn't like the guy's voice, and I heard what he had to say accidentally. He was talking to this couple, and he asked them, I'd like to give you $1 million. How do you feel? They said, wow, I'm excited. The husband said, yes. And he asked, why are you excited? He said, $1 million? He said, I know what I'm going to do with it. He said, I got something else better for you. And they said, what? I'm going to give you $10 million. How would you feel? He said, great. Wow. I would be, off the hook. That would blow my mind. He said, there's one hitch. And they said, okay, what is it? I'm going to give you $10 million today, but you won't wake up tomorrow. You'll be dead. Do you still want it? They said, no. You wouldn't accept $10 million today? 10 million, that's 10 times 1 million. You would pass on that? You saying, I will be dead tomorrow? Yes, you'll be dead tomorrow. He said, no. He said, so you're saying when you wake up in the morning that you got life, that's equivalent to having $10 billion, that you're still here. Oh, stuff's going to happen to you, but you're still here. You're going to have setbacks. You're going to lose money. People are going to betray you. Things are going to happen that you won't see coming. But each morning that you wake up, you got a chance to work on it. You got another shot. You got some more time that you've been given by God to begin to straighten things up in your life. Every day you should be excited because you're a billionaire, you're a trillionaire because you got life. Wow. As Del Toro would say, I'll wait. I never thought it like that. I never thought about it like that. So when I wake up in the morning, I woke up this morning, I said, whoa, there's some billionaires that's pushing up daisies. Oh, I'm glad to be here. And I know a lot of others that would love to be here. And I still got a chance to serve. I still got a chance to make my life count. I know that my life has an expiration date, but I'm here now. I'm not going to focus on when I'm gone. I'm going to focus on what do I do with what I have. I'm going to live my life the way I want to leave my life. So these speakers, they answered a call on their lives. They said, I want to live my life the way that I want to leave my life. I'm going to change some lives before I leave here. I'm going to inspire some people. I'm going to bring out the greatness in some folks. I'm going to let people know that their adversities don't have to break them. they can make them stronger. I want them to be able to live their dreams by making a statement and taking a stand with the life that they've decided to choose to leave the world in better shape than how they found it for their children and their grandchildren and their great-grandchildren. You have something special. You have greatness in you. I want you to think about the fact that you are still here, that God has something in mind. A lot of people out of here. People dying today who never died before. Come on. Oh, behave. And I decided, write this down, smile in spite of. Why? I got some stuff going on. I got some challenges that I'm facing. But you know what? Even homely people look better when they smile. Watch this. Smile at somebody on your right or left. And if they're already smiling when you look over there, you the homely one. This thing called life is for living, for laughing. Live the life you love and love the life you live. And decide that you're going to do what you can with what you have to leave it in better shape than how you found it. You have something special. You have greatness in you. We've all had major disruptions in our lives because of this pandemic. And when you have a disruption, that requires transformation. I don't care how fast a caterpillar can run, it can never fly until it goes into a cocoon and experience a transformation.
How do you deal with the not so positive part that does come with being an international, world-renowned motivational speaker? I know you've been in politics, you've been a DJ, you've done so many different things, but how do you deal with the naysayers? Because I'm sure there are some of those as well.
I don't have to engage with them.
Oh, that's good.
I did an interview yesterday, and they asked me, what do you think about Will Smith's wife and the book that she's coming out with?
Yeah.
And I asked him, would that put food on my table if I read it?
Ooh.
Is it going to put money in my pocket?
Yeah.
I said, why should I look at that? And why should you bring that up to me, given why I'm here and the value that I bring to the world? Why should I be focusing on gossip?
Yes.
And so we're living in what is called the distraction economy. What you tune into, you turn into.
Ooh.
And so we have to guard our minds.
Yeah.
Be ye not conformed to this world,
yes.
Be transformed by the renewing of your mind.
Yes.
And so most people are not focusing on what they're watching. Nothing can get through except through your eyes and your ears. This is an incredible time where artificial intelligence is replacing over 350 million jobs.
Wow.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
And because artificial intelligence does not have a heart, number one. Number two, I came up during the time of Marvin Gaye and Tammy Terrell. Ain't nothing like the real thing, baby.
Hey!
Come on, God. It's artificial. We are the real thing.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, so we will always be several steps ahead of what's going on now. Life is about fluctuation. Sometimes things go well, and sometimes things don't go well. And I say to people, when things aren't going well, don't tell everybody. 80% don't care, and 20% glad it's you.
Yeah. I love that. No, so true. And one of the things that I've realized, because I feel like people will speculate and gossip, but they don't really know the truth. And so for me, I had to learn to be okay with the people that know the truth and love me in spite of it all. Yes. Those are the people that I care about. Yes. I love that. I think it was Matthew McConaughey. He said, if you have a problem with me, call me. If you can't call me, you don't know me. If you don't know me, you don't have a problem with me. So you have a problem with what you think of me. And I think that a lot of people have this energy where they want to make you seem a certain way, or they want to speculate certain things. And our biggest opportunity, I agree with you, is to, if it's not in the circle, if they don't know you, why does that opinion matter? Why are we going back in comments on Instagram? Why, like, and it's funny because, I have a lot of guests on the show, and oh my gosh, and some people are very polarizing that come on the show, and they'll make statements, and their audience will be like, oh, well, she's dumb, or she's this. I have 3 degrees and an honorary doctorate. You know, there's nothing dumb over here. But if I had to explain that to every person that came to say something negative, I would be wasting so much time. And even worse, I'd be vibrating at a much lower, less attractive energy that I don't want. So I think it's important for us to do exactly what you said. Who cares?
And what people think about you is none of your business.
Yes.
This is a time where you have to give yourself your own credentials. I have a PhD.
Yes.
And it stands for passion, hunger, and drive.
I love it. I love it. The best school is the University of Life.
Yes.
It teaches us everything we need to know.
And the University of Hard Knocks.
Oh, yes, that too.
Because who you become on the other side of the Red Seas in your life introduces you to a person in you that you don't know right now.
Yes.
It only comes through during disruptions. And disruptions demand transformation, because in order to do something you've never done, you've got to become someone you've never been.
Yes.
And so that's why when things happen to us, that we should not panic. We should ask ourselves the question, what can I learn from this? What is it about me that I need to strengthen, that I can rise above this and put this behind me? I need to let go or be dragged.
Yes. One thing that you say all the time, or I've heard 10,000, I actually quote you, by the way, when I'm on stage. I say, if you fall, try to land on your back, because if you can look up, you can get up. Yes. Yes. Where does that come from? Who taught you that?
The University of Life. Because life happens to all of us.
Yes.
Things are going to happen to you, to me, and the people that we care about. That's why Scripture says, think it not strange that you face the fiery furnaces of this world. You will, not you might. You will have tribulations. There's a guy named Dimples had a song years ago, and he said, if it ain't one thing, it's another. Yes, and that's the way life flows. And our goal is to know greater is he that's in you than he that's in the world, and we're more than conquerors.
Yes.
And that we can handle this, that we can deal with it.
Yes.
And life will always be testing us.
Yes.
Always. And sometimes it will get the best of you. I mean, sometimes life beats you up so bad, like you see a fight and a guy is knocked out on his feet and referees say, how many fingers do I have? I remember times in my life, if somebody say, how many fingers do you see? About 100.
Right.
Yes, and life had knocked me silly.
Yes.
But it's a part of the process.
Yes.
And what we must do in all things, give thanks. Every day won't be a good day, but there's some good in every day.
Yes. No bad days, just character building days.
Absolutely. If you don't think every day is a great day, just try missing one.
Oh.
Somebody just going it.
Let that sink in. The team is on fire, y'all.
Yes.
I love that. And it's so true. And so, wow. Oh my goodness. Try missing one. Sheesh. I'm still like, let that sink in.
I saw something the other day that grabbed me.
Yes.
It said a healthy person
yes.
have 1,000 dreams. But a sick person only have one. To get well. That's why we say our health is our wealth.
Yes. How did you overcome the cancer? And I know this wasn't your first battle. This was your second, correct? How did you overcome that? Who did you have to be? Because I heard you quote a stat, and I hope that you quote it today, about our immune system. And how did you say, no, I'm debt free, I'm cancer free, and I'm drama free? How did you do that?
The oncologist, he was a bad brother who graduated from Howard University. His name was Mr. Golson. And so he said, Mr. Brown, I got some bad news. What is it? You have cancer.
Oh.
I said, whoa. I said, is there anything else? He said, yes. It's metastasized to 7 areas of your body.
Oh.
I said, wow. He said, why are you smiling? I said, man, 7 is my lucky number.
Wow.
I'm one of 7 children. I was born February the 17th. Joshua marched around the walls of Jericho 7 times. Naaman dipped himself in the river Jordan 7 times. I said, is there anything else? He said, yes. I said, what? He said, and you're ugly too. Come on, man. Did you get
lies?
He said, but you got this. He said, I never tell my patients they're terminally ill. What I say is that my skills, my abilities have terminated. I determine the diagnosis. You and God determine the prognosis. And a verdict. As we look at ourselves, the verdicts of what take place in our lives are not determined by the facts. It's determined by us, our faith, our heart, and our willingness to do what's required in order for us to be here. Being here is not a gift.
Oh, so good. I heard you said something along the lines of our immune system drops. What was that percentage?
When someone looks at you and say that you have a terminal illness, your capacity of your immune system to protect you drops by 40%.
Wow.
In the UK, they don't even allow doctors to say that you are terminally ill anymore. Because of the area of psychoneuroimmunology, words have power. That's why in the Bible it says death and life is in the tongue. That we speak too much death as opposed to speaking life. And a diagnosis is not a verdict. Yes, and so there's some people, they leave as a result of hearing those words. And what he said, I determine the diagnosis, you and God determine the prognosis. Yes. And that works for me. Yes. I have a friend who I talked to yesterday. She was told, because she had breast cancer, that she was terminally ill. And she said, what do you mean by that? He said, well, you have 6 months. And she said, listen to me. She said, you determine the diagnosis. God determines the timetable. Stay in your lane. Ooh. And that was 8 years ago. Come on,
wow. Oh, wow. Yes. Wow.
She said, stay in your lane.
Oh, I have goosebumps. Because people so often, the book Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill. Yes. And he talks about drifters, right? Yes. Because so many people are drifting inside of their lives and they're never really certain about most things. They allow the people, the places, the things, the opinions, the judgments, the diagnosis to tell them who and how they're going to be, and then they choose to believe it. But wow, you just, how powerful it is to just know you can say whatever you want, but this is what I'm believing. And sometimes we win that battle and sometimes we don't.
And we have to work consciously. Reading, having a ritual like you have, and I have. Yes. Reading something positive every day, 30 or 40 pages. Listening to messages that are designed to empower us. Dr. Carter G. Woodson said, if you can determine what a man should think, you never have to concern yourself with what he will do. Oh. He said, if you can make a man feel inferior, you never have to compel him to seek an inferior status, or he will seek it himself. And if you can make a man feel justly an outcast, you never have to order him to go to the back door. He'll go without being told. And if there's no door, his very nature will be manhood. I spoke in a prison in Ohio, and these young guys came in sagging their pants. I said, hey, what y'all call that? I'm an old man. They said sagging. I said, wow. I said, how you spell it? They said, what, sagging? Yeah, Saggin. I said, wow. If you can determine what a man should think, you never have to concern yourself with what he would do. I said, spell it again. And they said, Saggin. I said, now spell it backwards. Oh. They got quiet. I said, I'm here to eliminate a virus, HIV, hood-infected virus. Oh. AIDS, addiction to incarceration and death syndrome. Don't come for me. I didn't call an Uber.
I'm ready to cry right now. Oh my gosh. Oh, sheesh, that just hit my soul. And we subscribe. Like, whose story are you subscribing to?
Come on now.
And then when you teach people, okay, you don't have to choose this story.
That's right.
If I want to learn about LesBrown, I'm not going to go learn about how to knit kitten hats. You know, like, it's just not what you do. You have to be in alignment with what it is that you want. I have to ask you, do you feel like you are mentally, spiritually, and emotionally, physically, energetically as strong as you are now because of your upbringing? I know that they say there's nothing like having a praying woman in your life.
Come on now.
And I know that Miss Mamie Brown, you know, I know.
You know, I always say all that I am and all that I hope to be, I owe to my mother.
Yes.
Mamie Brown. And God took me out of my biological womb and placed me in the heart of my adopted mother. I'm adopted. My birth parents had discovered last year, they're like, they were 45 minutes from here. I was conceived in Gainesville, Georgia, but my birth mother came down to Miami to give birth to us and put us up for foster care, adoption. And what I now saying, I used to end my speeches by saying, this has been Mrs. Mamie Brown's baby boy. My birth mother's name is Dorothy Bell Rucker. She was a motivational speaker. And they have a museum for my grandmother. Her name is Beulah Rucker. So now I said, this has been Mrs. Mamie Brown's baby boy and Dorothy Bell Rucker's pride and joy. I've got two mothers and I'm not ashamed. I've got two mothers and I love them just the same. If you close your eyes, I sound just like John Legend.
You sound smooth for sure. Wow. What do you think was the biggest lesson? I have one moment that happened in my life with my mom. She wasn't even teaching. It was just experiencing my mom being the most resilient that I had ever seen her. My dad ruptured a disc in his back when I was about 10 years old. My mom was trying to make sure that we weren't homeless. She was going to school full time to get her master's in engineering, had a full-time job, all of us kids, my dad's injury, and her own life, you know, so there was a lot of weight on her shoulders. And I think of a story of one time I accidentally saw her in the middle of the night crying over her homework by herself in the kitchen at like 2 o'clock in the morning. And in that moment, I like slunk back to my bedroom because I couldn't imagine my mom seeing me see her being weak. But what I didn't know was that was actually one of the strongest points I had ever seen my mom at, because here she is in the middle of the night, literally sobbing over her homework. And then in a few hours, she'd have to have all of us up to go to school. And she always would smile. My mom has poise. Like, she comes with joy. I'm sorry if I cry. But she used to sing this song where she tried to wake us up in the morning and she'd say, get out of that bed and wash your face and hands. Get into the kitchen and shake them pots and pans. Or she'd have gospel playing or something going on. And she always had incredible energy, you know, like, she's just such a gem. And I've heard a lot of gems about your mom, and Mrs. Mamie Brown. I heard of through your story, but do you have a story like that where it was literally like, this is the moment that I understand resilience, not because of what I read in a book or heard in a story, but because I experienced it with this person?
Oh, absolutely. It was a deciding point in my life. I was downtown with my mother, and I think I was probably around 4 or 5. And it was very hot. And so I saw one water fountain, and I ran up to the water fountain and started drinking water. And my mother said, Leslie, stop that. And she grabbed me by the shirt and neck and threw me on the ground. And she started hitting me with her fist with a crazed look in her eyes. And I'm saying, Mama, it's me, Mama, it's me, it's me. And then a white policeman came over and he was hitting a nightstick in his hand. He said, okay, you beat that little nigger boy enough. He's learned his lesson. And he walked away and he looked at me and he was laughing. And Mama hit me in the head and in my mouth and the eye. And he said, I had to learn you, gotta learn you. And my mother said, Leslie, I'm so sorry. She said, he was coming toward you with that nice snake. His face was red with anger. And had he hit you, he would have had to kill me. I had to do that to distract him. I'm so sorry. And I was still crying. I said, Mama, I said, it's okay. You said you hit me over here. You kissed me over there, right there. You said you kissing and making well. She said, okay. I said, over here, right here. And we both started laughing and crying at the same time. But she put herself in a position. She had to decide that if this man hits my son, he will have to kill me. And she said, that said to me, she's willing to die for me.
Yes.
And it taught me the value of courage. The Bible says, be of good courage. And courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is the willingness to act in spite of the fear. Does that make sense?
Oh, perfectly.
Yes.
Wow.
Oh, behave.
Oh, wow. I love it. Wow, wow, wow. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I have to ask, we're going to shift gears a little bit. I love talking about family and speaking. You spent some time in politics.
Yes.
How was that? Why was that?
That was fascinating. When I was a state legislator, I used to have voter registration drives and get people out to vote. At one time, we turned out 95% of the vote in every black precinct in Columbus, Ohio.
Oh, wow.
So when I was fired for editorializing about police brutality, which was unprecedented during that time, and the 2 white police officers who were fired, they fired me for that. And then a friend named Horace Perkins, he came to my house. He said, hey, I want you to sign this. And I believe God put angels in your life. He brought these petitions. He went around and got signatures for me to run for the Ohio legislature. So I signed it. But I said, but Perkins, I don't know anything about politics. He said, neither do the people who run.
So true.
So I ran and I won. And I passed 14 bills my first term.
Oh, that's incredible.
Yes. But let me tell you how I got elected. Went to the radio station on Friday before Tuesday. Yeah. And my opponent had over $40,000. I had like $600. And so Perkins, who was a salesman at the radio station, he said, come in here, come into control. This is where you come and your ideas flow. Because I used to make my own commercials. And something came to me and said, call me now. Because I just couldn't come on the air and just say, hi, I'm LesBrown. I want to encourage you to vote for me. I just couldn't bring myself to do that. So I said, Mama, because I always talk about my mother when I was on the air. I said, I'm running for the state legislature and I need you to do something for me. She said, you've been running your mouth and you got fired, didn't you? I said, yes, no. But Mama, I need you to say something for me. She said, Leslie, I don't want to be in that mess. I don't know what that is. I said, Mama, I'll give you $500. She said, boy, you better send it Western Union. And so I said, I don't need you to talk long. Just say what's in your heart. Just make it 30 seconds. She said, okay, now don't forget, send me my money today. I'll come for you.
Right. I like her.
She said, hello, this is Mrs. Mamie Brown. When I raised my boys, I raised them to be good boys. When they got out of hand, I beat their behinds. Please vote for my son. He's a good boy. And I won. Usually you get 3,000 votes in a state representative race. I got over 26,000 votes. People were coming to the polls that I wasn't even in their district saying, LesBrown's mama said he was a good boy. I want to vote for him. Many people would not come out of the poll because they couldn't see my name. They had to call the police on it. But it was just that if you have a heart-centered message, I tell speakers, don't let what you want to say get in the way of what your audience needs to hear. Find out about them. Yes. What is it that they're looking for? Because when you speak to an audience, someone one-on-one, small group, or large group, they're asking 3 questions. Who are you? What do you have? And can I trust you? Okay. Because people don't buy from you, they buy into you. And so, pardon me, so I train speakers how to speak from the heart and expand the vision of the audience to get out of their history to step into their imagination. The imagination is where everything takes place. He said the scripture, I will give you all your eyes can see. And so when I was in the legislature, I was a fierce debater. And that's how I got a lot of bills passed.
How did you become such a great orator? Like, you are the way that you connect all of the dots in such a simple, easy, concise way is really mind-blowing, to be honest.
Thank you.
How did you become?
I studied Malcolm X. By any means necessary, Dr. King.
Yes.
Malcolm X was a communicator. Dr. King was an orator.
Yes.
The best speakers make the fewest words go the farthest.
Yes, they do both.
And so I studied them because they mastered their craft. And Howard Thurman, who was a mentor of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Billy Graham, I watched and I studied all of them. And I think I'm a combination of all of them.
Yes.
And you take some material that you believe in, that comes out of your heart, and you own it. You speak from that place of power.
Yes.
That you help people to discover their power voice and inspire them to do something different with their lives.
Wow. Wow. That's so true. Malcolm X is definitely straight into the point.
Great communicator.
Yes.
And Dr. King, I have a dream.
Yes.
That's another
Tell
level.
a story.
Yes.
And you enroll people into that story.
Yes. So when you see me speak in the Georgia Dome, though now I'm speaking as an orator, that speech I gave, it's not over till you win.
Yes.
Before 80,000 people.
Wow.
But when you see me speak in a short format, now that's the Malcolm in me.
Yes.
Or in an interview like you talking to me right now.
Yes.
I'm ready for you.
Yeah.
My mama beat the X out of me. Because I came home after I heard Malcolm X. And my sister, she ran and met me. She said, Leslie, you got to change your last name back to Brown. I said, my name is Leslie X. She said, Mama's going to beat the hell out of you. And so next day I went to school, I was Leslie Brown.
I know that's right.
Yeah, she beat that X out of me.
How would you tell entrepreneurs out there, in network marketers in particular, how to stay positive in and amongst this madness?
We have to keep our minds focused. We have to have a program and a ritual that you engage in when you first get up in the morning. When I first get up in the morning, number one, I'm glad I'm here. That there's not a chalk outline around my body. I've got breath, and I say all things work together for good for those who love God and for those who are called according to his purpose. And I have an affirmation that I recite as well is, Lord, whatever I face today, together you and I can handle it. That's number one. Number two, I write down 7 things that I'm grateful for. I just spend time, unplug from life. Don't look at the computer. Don't look at the phone or television. Just thinking about the things that I'm grateful for. And I write down 7 things. 7 is my lucky number. After I do that, I review the 7 things that I want to get out of the day. And those 7 things are things I write the night before. Most people try and just get through the day, but people who are winners, people who have goals and dreams, they have an agenda for their lives and they prepare that agenda the day before. If you don't have an agenda for your life, you will be a part of somebody else's agenda. The things that I want to accomplish, you're a part of my agenda today, and we were unstoppable in getting together. You've been working on this. I love you. You are hungry to connect with me. and then I listen to motivational messages. I encourage people to watch. There are several videos I have on YouTube. One is called It's Possible. Another one is called You Deserve. And one that you spoke of, LesBrown speaking in the Georgia Dome. By listening to motivational messages before you watch the news or anything else, what happens is that whatever we watch the first 20 minutes when we wake up in the morning, it affects the spirit of your day. And so therefore, we want to set our minds up to serve us. We have a mind. Our mind does not possess us, but most people are controlled by their minds. And so if you don't program your mind will be programmed. And so you have to have an intentional effort to put the things in your mind that you want in there. People say garbage in, garbage out. No, that might work for computers, but that does not work for human beings. Garbage in, garbage stays. And it shows up in your attitude, in your behavior, and your vision of yourself, and how you see yourself, and how you perform. And then I set out. And it's an interesting thing, the coronavirus, what I'm saying to people, live your life now. Live your dream now. Life is on your side. And to prove it, the fact that you're still alive. There are a lot of people, they're gone. They're out of here. We just lost a very talented actor. He's 43 years old, and that's Chadwick Boseman. 43 years old. I have T-shirts older than 43. Okay? And so this thing now, live your life now, because tomorrow is not promised. Now is all that we have. Death taking people out, young and old, this coronavirus. So to me, I'm encouraging people to keep social distancing from people and from the refrigerator. I'm working on a 6-pack. I only got 5 packs right now. You know what I mean? Well, I have 1 pack covering up 6 packs. So now I'm working on those others.
I'm glad it's not just me then, Les.
Yeah.
I'm glad it's not just me.
Yeah. And because we don't know how much time we have. So work in the now. In the book, You've Got to Be Hungry, that I completed, The Greatness Within to Win, I talk about the H, and the H stands for live a heart-centered life. What's in your heart? And the U stands for urgency. Do it now. I remember being at a table in Las Vegas, and the late great singer Frank Sinatra was there. And he told a young man, he said, live each day as if it were your last, because one day it will be. And so, therefore, I'm encouraging people, as you look at yourself, look at your goals and dreams, do what you can with what you have, where you are, and stay focused on that. There are people who are very fearful right now. And here's something I love that Zig Ziglar said. In most fearful situations, the majority of people, they forget everything and run. But there's a small number who face everything and rise. Mm-hmm. And I submit that the people that listen to you, that they face everything and rise, because they are being mindful of the input of information that will allow them to move their lives forward. Life is full of all type of challenges. Viktor Frankl calls it unavoidable suffering. We can't control the thoughts that come in our minds, but we can control the thoughts that we focus on. So when we make a conscious, deliberate, determined effort to program our minds positively, to focus on our goals and dreams, don't look to the right, don't look to the left. God has not given us a spirit of fear, but a spirit of power and of love and of sound mind. You can't be in a sound mind when you are running scared. I was in the house on the 3rd floor by myself, and I sneezed, and I ran down the steps. I said, wait a minute, that's my sneeze. But I still came back up, went in the bathroom, and got some Lysol to start spraying. I was scared out of my wits of my own sneeze. Every time you sneeze, people say, God bless you. Now they look, say, you know what? Can you move over there?
Brilliant. So, you're in a situation now where there's so much content out there with your name, whether it's quotes, sound bites, motivational videos, the books. There's so many amazing books. We're going to talk about one in particular in a minute. There's the YouTube videos, there's the courses, there's the trainings, there's everything. What is it that keeps you going and going and going and going? Because I believe in network marketing in particular, it's something that you start for the money you can make, but you stay for the person you become and the people that you can help become great. And every finish line is really just a new start line. What kind of has kept you going on through the years, even with all this amazing content out there? The legacy that you've got is just it's just amazing already. I'm gonna be shouting your name for many years. And now I've got proof that I was talking about him. I've got proof that I'm with him here as well, and I'm so grateful for that. What is it that keeps you going, and what would you tell someone else who's maybe thinking, I want to retire now, I want to quit now, I think my time's up now? What would you say to those people?
I would say to those people, we're still here to do some work. That when we look at what's going on now, our world has been turned upside down by the coronavirus. And tragically, thousands, millions of people are being impacted by this. And so the fact that we're able to open up our eyes, and I used to wonder why my mother would say, "Thank you, Lord, for waking me up in my right mind this morning." Well, now I understand. The fact that we are still here, we can make a difference. I believe that we were born to live a life that will outlive us, and that's major. I was at my desk and my daughter called me one day and she said, "Daddy, are you busy?" And I said, "No." She said, "Whoa, I'm in traffic now and a policeman is in the center of the road and he's holding up traffic. I think there's going to be a funeral procession coming by." And sure enough, she said, "Oh, it is." And then she said, "Wow, oh my goodness." And I said, "What's wrong?" She said, "A hearse came by and there was only one car behind it." She said, "When I go, I want there to be a long line of cars coming behind the hearse because of the impact when I go, that people will come out and celebrate that I have left here, that the cemetery will be filled with people because of the quality of my life." And I do believe that we are here to live a life that will outlive us, to leave a legacy. And so as we look at ourselves, look at our goals and dreams, my goal every day, and I can share this with you based upon my own experience, people have goals and dreams and have a sense of purpose in living a life of meaning and significance, live longer than people who have nothing to wake up in the morning for. The people who have goals and dreams don't need an alarm clock to get up. They get up automatically. and so it gives momentum to your life. It keeps you younger. It allows you to have a sense of fulfillment and joy. And so I love that. I have 10 kids. The Lord said, "Be fruitful and multiply," and I took him seriously. I have 15 grandchildren. And 4 great-grandsons. And so every day I look forward to getting up, spending time with them, my friends, and working on goals and dreams of helping people to live their dreams and leave a legacy, because that gives my life joy, and it gives me energy, and it keeps me young.
What did you take away from your early studies of these speakers? And I'm going to get back to the strategic questions here in a second, but what did you take away from the people that inspired you? What caught your attention?
What caught me is that, one, you can transform people's lives and you don't know them. Complete strangers, based upon how you put your presentation together and them seeing you in a light that they feel comfortable letting you into their minds, and you can take them to a place in themselves that they can't go by themselves, because you can't read the label if you're locked in the box. And so I spent time to study the mind. How is it that I'm meeting these people for the first time? And what is it that I can do to create an experience that will transform them, 3-dimensional storytelling, that we can expand their vision of themselves beyond their mental conditioning and their culture and the environment that they're in, and touch their hearts, because we're emotional people, and ignite their spirit where they have the courage to say, I'm going to do something different with my life. That's to me, is the most important things that we can do, because people are asking when they hear you speak, one-on-one, small groups, or large groups, who are you? What do you have? And why should I care? And so in the course of the presentation, when you address those things so that people feel comfortable, they trust you, they're willing to be transparent and allow you to come into their lives and speak to them and help them to begin to learn techniques and strategies on how to make the rest of their lives the best of their lives. Take them on that journey, that experience. Oliver Wendell Holmes said that once a man or woman's mind has been expanded with an idea, concept, or experience, it can never be satisfied to going back to where it was.
When you think about the audience that you're talking to really understand them, what are those, if you were to boil it down to maybe 3, 4, maybe 5 questions that you ask to really get to know that audience so you can deliver that, what's some of the questions you should ask from every audience before you speak to them?
When you look at yourself, look at the industry, look at where you're going and the goals that you want to achieve, and hopefully they're far beyond what you achieved last year. What radical change must you make in your culture, in your mindset, individually and collectively, and how you're showing up in your industry? Because people don't live life as it is, they live life as they are. So in order to do something you've never done, you've got to become someone you've never been. So what changes are you going to make that will allow you to begin to achieve these goals that you've set for yourself? You're in this place where Einstein said that the thinking that has brought me this far has created some problems that this thinking can't solve. And so now it's about going within. Now it's about self-awareness. Who are you really? Now, how did you get here? And what will it take for you to get from here to over here? This requires at another level a new set of skills that you don't have right now. So what is it you need to do so that you can upgrade yourself? You know, we have the computer, we have to do updates, to update yourself. Robert Schuller said, we either expand or we are expendable.